Happening today, activists are set to take to the streets in the March on Washington. It comes 57 years after the original march. 57 years after the famous March on Washington, demonstrators plan to take over D.C. once again, this time in protest of police brutality and in support of racial equality. Several notable activists will speak, including Martin Luther King III. CBS 46's Ashley Thompson is live in downtown Atlanta this morning near the CNN Center, where demonstrators will march in solidarity with those in Washington. Ashley.
That's right, Megan. Demonstrators are calling on police reform. 50,000 of them are expected to gather in Washington, D.C. And at the same time, we can expect a sizable crowd here in downtown Atlanta. This is being called the Commitment March. Get your knee off our necks. The planning for it began after the death of George Floyd by a police officer. People from all over the country have been making their way to Washington, D.C. for this. It comes 57 years after Martin Luther King Jr. made his famous remarks from there, his historic "I Have a Dream" speech. This demonstration is about police brutality and racial injustice. Family members of those killed by officers are scheduled to speak, including the families of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Eric Garner, and Jacob Blake. Martin Luther King III is helping to organize this. He will also be speaking. Here's what he told us yesterday from his hotel room in D.C.
We got to figure out how do we restructure police departments so that they work with the communities and not that are working against communities. I think when the community is working with the department, in many cases you will have a different outcome. And maybe police won't go and shoot first and ask questions later. They do that in Black communities, but it's rare that you find that happening in other communities.
And there will be a similar march here in downtown Atlanta. As I mentioned, right now we are near the CNN Center and Centennial Olympic Park. The demonstration will be over here. It will take place from 1 to 3 today. Everyone at both the DC March and the one here in Atlanta being asked to wear a mask. Live in Atlanta, Ashley Thompson, CBS 46 News.